Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the finals here in the Lower Eastern region, and we're having so much anticipation for both teams that are coming on stage. And the motion of the day reads, marijuana should be legalized for recreational and medicinal purposes in Kenya. Marijuana should be legalized for recreational and medicinal purposes in Kenya. Proposing and opposing this motion is St. Theresa Mbooni Girls versus Machakos Boys High School. All the best to both teams. I have been your host, Jana Ching. Team proposition, first speaker, you have 3 minutes.
Hey you, yes, you. Do you know what Alvin Toffler said? Let me tell you. He said that the most illiterate people in the 21st century are not the ones who cannot read and write, but are the ones who are not ready to learn and relearn. And that is why I stand here to strongly tell you that it is about time we as Kenyans drop the wrong perspective of that. Cannabis sativa is not good. We have to focus on the positive side of cannabis sativa. My name is Mbooni from St. Theresa Mbooni Girls, and I am here to strongly propose the motion that says that marijuana should be legalized in Kenya for both medical and recreational purposes. Well, what is marijuana? The scientists, or the one we most call, the most learned, call it cannabis sativa, and we Kenyans, we call it weed. Well, it originated from the Southern Asia. What do I mean by the term legalize? By the term legalize, I mean that to make something legal, to make it something part of us, to make it look like whenever we're using it, we're not doing anything wrong. We're doing whatever is perfect. According to a research done by the WHO in March 2018, they were able to verify that Japan was experiencing crisis. And what crisis am I talking about? I am talking about the crisis of the CNN having to report 14 people, imagine, 14 people dead every day. Do you know why they are dying? They are dying due to stress. They are not just dying. They are actually committing suicide. My friend, imagine 14 people every day committing suicide in Japan, all because Japan has not embraced cannabis sativa. Imagine that. According to a research done by the Zurich University, to be more specific by Marie-Lou Anne, that is back in January 2021, she was able to prove that the most attractive stadium back in Brazil, actually let me tell you something before I continue, that Brazil has actually embraced marijuana. And as I was saying that, as Brazil has embraced marijuana, the money they get from exporting this marijuana that you Kenyans have actually refused to embrace, they were able to build one big, attractive stadium by the name Foxwave Stadium that is in Brazil. And they use this stadium for recreational purposes, such as, we have games such as football ongoing there, games such as handball, games such as tennis, games such as hockey, and all those are games that we as Kenyans really want to embrace. But since we do not have the stadium to do that, we cannot do that. Well, let me tell you something. The world is fast changing, and until you learn to adopt, to stand out, you will fade into oblivion. Thank you.
First speaker, team opposition, you have 3 minutes.
I am Barakat Hussein from the Great Machakos School, here to firmly oppose the motion that reads, marijuana should be legalized for recreational and medicinal purposes in Kenya. Well, first of all, what is marijuana? Well, I think it would be better defined as a psychoactive drug that has mind-altering effects. This drug is popularly known as weed, cannabis, or bang. Legalized means to make something that was previously illegal permissible by law. And in this case, it was illegal for a reason. Secondly, or thirdly actually, recreation refers to activities of a voluntary and leisure time aimed at relaxation. And medicinal refers to its purposes in relieving symptoms of certain conditions. Now, first of all, if we were to legalize marijuana for recreational and medicinal purposes, it will cost us a lot, because establishing and enforcing standards of production, taxation, testing, and distribution are complex and costly. According to the Drug Free America Foundation, as of 2018, Colorado, the state that had legalized weed, it cost it $4.50 to mitigate the effects of legalization of cannabis. This is per every $1 earned in tax revenue from the cannabis industry. Now imagine a developing country such as ourselves. Will we be able to produce the amount to meet this deficit efficiently without hurting other sectors of the economy? I think not. Secondly, the usage of marijuana leads to, the legalization of marijuana leads to an increase in harms of the drug, such as contamination, addiction, and mental health issues. Mental health issues include depression and psychosis. According to Frontiers, that is in 2018, 36% of Canadians aged 16 to 19 years endorsed the drug. And after legalization, this number shot up to 44%, with a subsequent increase in addiction levels in the country. Now, verywellhealth.com tells us that the usage of cannabis can have negative implications on memory and learning capacity of an individual. So you see, it's not really safe for us. And now let's move away from the data. Let's look away from the spreadsheets. Let's turn our eyes away from the data books. Let's go and face reality. Let's walk outside. We find a man who's used marijuana to the extent that he can do nothing else constructive with his life, who's gone into debt just to try and afford the blunt that he'll smoke that day. It's only when you experience your uncle, your brother, go into marijuana use, get addicted, lose his job, go into poverty, become a shell of what he used to be. It's only when you've experienced all that, and when you've taken that experience, you've coupled it with your facts, that you'll be able to get a conclusive solution. And the conclusive solution is to say no to marijuana use in Kenya. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Second speaker, team proposition, you have 3 minutes.
Green light, red light, yellow light, glowing upside down. Well, this is a common song sung by our friends back in Jamaica, with them enjoying themselves with the puff of legalized marijuana. This is a song sung by people in unity, people in union, people who are happy, people who do not have war. From St. Theresa, Mbooni girls, my name is Vanessa Ndungu. A point has been made about the production and taxation of marijuana being costly. Well, let me tell you this. Haven't you heard of the cases that have been presented on Citizen News, especially earlier last year, of people who are caught with illegal marijuana because it has not yet been legalized? And they tell us that a bundle, a kilogram of marijuana can cost up to 5,000 Kenyan shillings. Imagine tons of marijuana. What can this contribute to our economy, to fund our medical services, to fund our recreational facilities? Exportation of marijuana brings income which we use to build recreational facilities and help in improving the medical sector. According to research given by the WHO in July 31st, 2021, that is last year but one, in collaboration with the World Bank, they tell us that marijuana has an exorbitant price in the market, and this can raise our economy so high that we can actually improve our medical facilities, our hospitals, our recreational facilities, where we can ban this cheap alcohol, and we are able to buy the legit alcohol for our recreation, and hence our people will not suffer from these medical issues that we talk about every now and then. Legalizing marijuana will make our country friendlier to those countries who are conversant with this drug. People from Jamaica, people from Brazil will come to our country, and they will bring foreign exchange, because we are told that by Professor Luan Okoth from the Chuka University on 12th June in 2019, he gave a research to show that 40% of
Kenya's foreign exchange is from tourism. Imagine from what range we can improve when we improve our tourists, because we are attracting them with marijuana. And not just marijuana, this is legalized, it is manufactured, and it is safe because it cannot be legalized just for any reason. This helps. It also helps in reducing over-dependence on other countries. Look at us. Whenever we have cancer patients, whenever we have patients who need attention, which we cannot give as Kenyans, we take them to India. We will not be taking them to India because marijuana will give us the money and will give us the facilities to able to facilitate this ourselves. So, as St. Theresa Mbooni girls, we stand that we should say yes to marijuana. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Second speaker, Team Opposition, you have 3 minutes.
Standing before you is Ephraim Kiari from the Great Machakos School, standing firm to oppose the motion that states marijuana should be legalized for medicinal and recreational purposes. Hata wewe ndugu yangu, amka kumekucha, kwani hizi ndizo saa za kwenda shule. I may not have a singing voice, but the Maroon Commandos were pretty sure when they mentioned that we're supposed to go to school to get education. My worthy opponent here has mentioned that there are many causes of deaths. Why? Suicide. She mentioned that 14 people die a day. What causes suicide? Depression. What does marijuana cause? Depression. The same marijuana that you want to legalize. You also mentioned that we may be able to get revenue from the selling of this same marijuana. Case study, Uruguay. It was one of the first countries to legalize the use of marijuana for recreational and medicinal purposes. What has it gotten? Struggles on struggles. Even the benefits they get are not even recognizable. Straight to my points. First is that legalization of marijuana will bring about negative impacts on our society. According to an article by Angela Maro in the year 2023 March for Very Well Health, she clarified that legalization of marijuana could lead to negative effects such as drug driving, workplace accidents, school dropouts, and crime. Marijuana users have an impaired ability in matters driving safely and could increase risks of crashes and fatalities. Marijuana use could also reduce the productivity, performance, and attendance of workers and students, and could also give rise to criminal activities such as drug trafficking, violence, and even money laundering. Second, legalization of this marijuana could conflict with cultural and religious value of many Kenyans who may view cannabis as an immoral, sinful, and harmful drug. Marijuana use could also affect the social fabric of the country by eroding family ties, community roles, and work ethics. It is in the words of Harry Anslinger that I slang by saying marijuana is the most violent causing drug in the history of mankind. We have been able to see families break up. Why? Divorce. Another reason for divorce, that one of the spouses was too indulged in a certain thing, such as alcoholic. He could come home drunk, cannot take care of the family, and yet you want to introduce something that is even more addictive, has greater effects to the same families? No, I cannot stand and accord to that. A commentary by Samuel T. Wilkinson, published in the Missouri Medicine Journal in 2013, argued that legalizing marijuana comes with serious societal costs. He reviewed the potential problems with the approval, production, dispensation, and route of administration, and termed them as drastic. And yet you're here, mentioning to us that we should legalize it? No, oppose it. Marijuana is not for our own good. I rest my case.
Team Proposition, third speaker, you have 3 minutes.
I wonder why. I wonder why we refuse to see the truth that lies before our eyes. Bob Marley once said that it is not until you take the marijuana that you will be able to see the light that is only experienced when one takes the marijuana. My name, Annette Wafula. So you asked a question of how we can prove that stress can be relieved when one takes marijuana. Well, after a study done by the University of Yale in the year 2019 March, they found out they experimented on 10 set of students. So one set was given normal stress relievers, while the other were given marijuana. So after a week, they found out that this other set that was given marijuana registered a great improvement because their stress levels had decreased significantly compared to the other group that used this normal stress relievers. I wonder why you want to waste your money on these other users, on these other stress relievers, when we have an answer, and the answer is marijuana. Take it. If we adopt this marijuana, no more depression for students, no more depression for people because of the finance, because of the high taxation, because marijuana will not only help you reduce stress, but it also help you think wise to make stress decisions. My opposing team states that to begin this planting of marijuana, you will need money. Well, that is true. For every business to start, you need money. You need capital to start. And that's why we have World Banks where you borrow money. And if we're able to plant this marijuana, and if we're able if we're able to grow this marijuana, we will be able to invest from them, and the money we use will not only pay the debt we opted to take from the bank, but also use the rest for our benefit. Because our country currently is facing a lot of problems because we do not have money. So marijuana is a source of money, is a source of good income, only if we stop the negativity and adopt this marijuana. Another thing, they said that it leads to addiction. Excuse me, we adopted use of alcohol, didn't we? And it also has led to addiction. But what for us not to lead into addiction, what do? You use it in the appropriate amount. That's why we go to school and we're told that for everything that you use it in the right amount. If this marijuana is used in the right amount, we will not be having addiction. We will not be having people having impaired judgment, people going through stress and all these other things that they've stated. Because when it is used in the right amount, it will be beneficiary to our country and our people. Another thing is that they say that marijuana is not used for it is not good for medical things. Well, I am sorry for that because marijuana is significantly used. A study done by the University of California 2019 found out that marijuana not only is a pain reliever, but also used in cancer treatment. Rather than wasting our money in medical cases that do not help us, let us invest in marijuana, because in one world, we'll have one love and one heart, and we'll be able to increase our country's investment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Third speaker, team opposition, you have 3 minutes.
This is Musini Kule from the Great Machakos School, here to oppose the motion that states the government of Kenya should should legalize the use of marijuana for medicinal purposes and recreational purposes. Well, to answer the question, yes, the one who will have taken bank, yes, they will finish the work faster. But look at what is productivity? We are talking about the outcome of this. My father has time and again complained about the smoking laborers. They have dug out the weeds and the crops altogether. So what is this? What productivity are you talking about? It also causes adverse effects to the public health sector. How does it affect it? It increases the demands for treatment services, prevention programs, and harm reduction strategies. We already know that marijuana is harmful. Why should we even in the first place implement marijuana so that we introduce harm reduction strategies? Agree with me that for a sensible human being, it is not right to create a problem so that you can solve it. It is better to avoid the problem. Marijuana leads to addiction and overdependence. Marijuana has several chemical components, of which I will only like to mention two. Tetrahydrocannabinol, which is said to be the medicinal part of marijuana, of which, let me tell you one of the effects of tetrahydrocannabinol. It causes anxiety, it impairs memory, and it also causes hallucinations. So tell me how it is going to be of benefit to me if the only thing that it is doing to me, it is relieving pain, then bringing into me hallucinations. I start seeing things. I just start seeing mysterious things all over the air. Devils haunting me. Well, marijuana is addictive. And then when it is addictive, I believe you should know the cost implication of rehabilitating a marijuana addict. In Kenya, according to NACADA, the rehabilitation cost for for marijuana addicts is between 120,000 to 500,000. Why should you incur cost of something which you can prevent? That is my question to you. Also, it has consequences on the social view of it. What will be the social gain about this? As when marijuana is introduced, there will be the big industry known as the marijuana industry that will be lobbying for greater profits and neglecting the social well-being and the social health care and the social health. So join me in opposing the motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much to both teams. We will be taking closing remarks. So,
as the first proposer had said, the illiterate people of the 21st century are not those who do not know how to read nor write. They are those who refuse to learn and relearn. You tell us that with the use of marijuana, we start seeing people floating, hippopotamus walking on our roads. Then let me tell you this, are we not educated? We are Kenyans. You are demoralizing our Kenyans. Kenyans are educated. Kenyans know the amount to consume. Kenyans know their way. So you cannot tell us that marijuana, you cannot face or base your basis on the negative part of marijuana. Let us face the positive part. Let us embrace the positive part of marijuana. This is what is making Kenya to remain in the third world countries. This is because we look at the negative side of things. We are missing out on opportunities. We are missing out on opportunities that will help in bringing up our countries. So as St. Theresa Mbooni girls, we stand and we say that we should legalize marijuana in Kenya. Thank you.
thank you very much. We will be taking closing replies from team opposition. You have 1 minute.
Unless you're a truant, then you must know that cannabis has its implications. Yet you tell us that you're educated. An article by Charles Stimson, published by the Heritage Foundation in 2010, mainly argued that marijuana is not, I repeat, not the answer. These countries that have already implemented the legalization of marijuana are facing their fair set of struggles. Case study, Canada has faced challenges in competition from the black market and aggressive marketing. Case study, Netherlands has faced criminal involvement in production and supply of cannabis. Yet you want to legalize it? I am sure the parents that are here and those who want to be parents, including my worthy opponents, if you walked in on your child smoking cannabis, would you clap and tell them that's the way to go? Food for thought. Thank you.
All right, I think we have appreciated you more than enough, and I want to say congratulations. This is a well-heated debate, and this is really what we call a final. So thank you so much for really doing justice to this motion, justice to the audience, and even for us here as judges. We are proud of you. Both of you are great debaters, all right? So congratulations on that. Very quickly, I don't have much to say. I know you want to clap, but we don't have much time. For Mbooni girls, amazing speakers across the board, very confident, and I love the fact, the composure and all that. Muthoki, 14 people dead every single day, courtesy of CNN. Sometimes people may say you want to even validate by giving a date or something of that sort, because if I want to check, where did they say that? Sometimes it's good. When you give examples like Brazil, give that particular source. Vanessa, good style, good backed up submissions as well. Annette, I think what I wrote is one word, very passionate, and I love that about you, all right? So keep it up and continue doing what you're doing. I'm just worried whether we should play this particular piece after you really spoke to us about legalizing this, and I was wondering whether people are going to partake this. Goodness. Now, Machakos School, oh Lord, you guys are another thing. I don't know what to describe, but I can start with Kule. I think your tie speaks it all, because I saw it bulging out. I think it's the passion and the oomph that you have, which really is commendable. I felt like a student seated here as you were speaking, and that is very commendable. You're lethal and dangerous. I love it. Ephraim as well, good speaker, good points, good cross-examination. Same to Barakat as well, good speaker. And I think I love the particular examples you gave with very clear citations. All the best to the two teams.
Great debate across board, the 6 debaters, all of you on point. Just to mention just a few things that maybe I saw from Mbooni girls. When you say a stadium was built in Brazil, how do we know that the money from selling marijuana was the one that was actually used to build the stadium? For Machakos School, your points were good. All of you are great speakers, very confident. You had stage presence, but keynote, Chule, that was a great debate. All the best to the two teams.
That was a smoking one. I mean, you guys literally left no prisoners in the quest to defend your points. And that is all I call hammering the points home without missing your words. Congratulations to all teams. I wish you the best.